All right, we are on video 5, I believe, for chapter 11. And right now I am on the top of page 610. And today is going to be finding surface area of triangular prisms. And I'm going to do this first, I think, this video with using nets. And then probably next video I will do it with the formula. But the formula can be a little tricky, just as these nets are a little tricky. So I don't want to go straight to the formula. I really would like you to break it down to the shapes and see how it goes, and then you can choose which one goes better for you. All right. So first off, I am here on page 610. Use a net to find the surface area of this triangular prism. So let's look at this prism first. So I notice that I have a right triangle. Okay, it's a right angle, 90 degrees. So I have right triangle here. Bottom and top is my bases. Then my height of this prism is 10. All right. Now this is really kind of confusing, I think, with how it's labeled, or just being able to try to figure out what's what. So let's take a look. This is 10 inches, and that means over here this has to be 10 inches. So I want you to fill that in, 10, and you can put the little double quotation mark as to mean inches if you want. Now this is the 12. And that means down here, this is 12. All right, so I'm going to put a 12. I'm not even going to put the inch mark just because it's too tiny. And this is 5, which is going to be the same as this line down here. So this line right in there is a 5. All right. If this is 10, this is 10. This one going up and down in the back is a 10, but that's that dashed line. All right. So let's look at what they're doing here. So now they took this and they broke it down. And really what they did is they took this and flipped it onto a rectangle. So here, this rectangular piece here was the 12 by the 10. This is the 12 by 10. So really this panel back there, imagine they flipped it down and set it on that, and then cut it open like here and here, to flip, and then flipped the triangles down. So that's a little tough to imagine to put together there. So let's look at how they labeled. 12 is 12, 10 is 10. Now, our triangles. If we have a 12 and a 5, the 12 and a 5 are what make the right angle. And that right angle, 90 degrees, is right here. So 12 and 5. And this hypotenuse, opposite the right angle, would be the 13. All right, so maybe we'll need it, maybe we won't, but I want to fill that in there. So 5 and 5, 5 and 5, 10, 10, 10, 10. And now these distances, this is 12 long, this is 13. So here's this 13 would match up there. So this distance and this distance are not the same. All right, so the surface area equals the sum of the areas of the 3 rectangular faces and the two triangular bases. Note that the bases have the same area. So our 2 triangles are the same. So we're going to use area of a triangle here. So area of bases, A and E, A equals 1/2 base times height. So let's fill that in. Base and height need to be perpendicular in a triangle, so 12 and 5. So 1/2 times 12 times 5. And 1/2 of 12 would be 6, and 6 times 5 is 30. Now, let's see, do they double that anywhere? That's going to be down here. So because I have 2 of these, they're going to take this 30, and when they add everything up, they're going to multiply it by 2. So I'm going to bring that down here right away. So 2 times 30 is going to be my 2 triangles. All right, next they're taking area of face B. That's my rectangle back here. It's 5 by 10. So I'm using formula for area of a rectangle. A equals length times width, which is 5 times 10, which is 50. Okay, you only have one of those, don't need to double it. Area of face C, okay, that's going to be my next rectangle, 12 by 10. 12 by 10 is 120. And you can see there I had the formulas for us. An area of D, 13 by 10. 13 by 10, which is 130. So now we need to put those pieces together. I had the 2 times the 30. I have to add my 50, my 120, and my 130. And 30 and 50 make 80. 80 and 120 is 200, and 200 plus 130 would be 330. And that is in square inches. Okay, so the surface area of that entire triangular prism, 330 square inches. All right, and I want to do one more example with you where we're starting from scratch with our figure and we have to draw it. So this is on page 611. Page 611. I want to do number 2. All right, so you can see I do again have a right triangle, and which is 6 by 8. I have this length here, which is 16, and this distance here, which would be my hypotenuse, is 10. So the tricky part here is going to be sketching this. So let's see. I'm actually going to sketch this bottom rectangle here first. All right. So I'm just going to sketch a rectangle. All right. And let's give our dimensions there. That rectangle is going to be 8 by 16. Okay. Now, if I were to cut here and just flip that triangle down, I would have a triangle sitting right here, like that, and like that. So now you can see that 8's kind of in the way. So we're going to put them in here. That 8 was this. So this 6 would be this distance here and this distance here. Again, this little guy, this guy was 8. And so, yep, 6 and 8. And then my hypotenuse was 10, 10. All right. And then I need to have my, this rectangle would come out one side. And this rectangle here would come out the other side. Okay. They're also 16 long. And if this is 6, then this is going to be 6. And you can see I was not to scale there, but that's okay. So 6 and 6. If this is 10, then this has to be 10 because those would meet up. All right. So let's call it A, B, C, and my triangles will be D and E. Actually, I just need one though, so double it, right? So let's start with area of A. So area of A equals, it's a rectangle, length times width. And I'm going to substitute in area of A equals, it's 6 by 16. 6 by 16. Area of B is also a rectangle, so I'm not even I'll let you get away with not rewriting that right away. So length times width, 16 by 8. So 8 by 16, doesn't matter the order. And area of C, also rectangle, 10 by 16. All right, so I wanted to get those filled in, and now I can come back and tell what they equal. And I know 10 by 16 is 160. Pull out your handy dandy calculator. And I have 8 times 16 is 128. These are all square centimeters, but I'm not going to worry about that till the end. And 6 times 16 would be 96. All right, so now I have, circle those 3 pieces I'm going to need, but I have to do the triangles yet, right? So let's straighten this out for you. Area of a triangle, A equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, so A equals 1/2. Now I need my perpendicular. I need these two, 6 and 8. I don't want the 10. By 6 by 8. My triangle, half of 6 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Now I do have, so actually that should have been like, I should have labeled about D and E. But I got to multiply it by 2 because there's 2 of them. And that would be 48. So I just need to come back and add together my 3 pieces that are circled. So you can take your calculator, 96 plus 128 plus 160 plus 48 equals, and I get that my area of my entire piece, surface area, would be 432. It was centimeters, so it's squared, square centimeters. So this triangular prism right here would have a surface area of 432 square centimeters. Okay, I think I'm just going to have you do 2 problems today on triangular prisms. The book actually only has like 1 in here for you to practice, so I'll draw one for you. But here on page 613, I would like you to do number 4. And I did sketch one out here, so I'm going to put this up there, and if you could sketch it and then do it. All right. Not the greatest drawing, but not a right triangle. It's just a regular scalene triangle that has 3 different side lengths. So I drew a triangle. It's 3.5 feet, 4.5 feet, and 7 feet. Then I did my length going up to my next triangle. This triangle is going to match that one. And my height here is 10 feet. So if you want to sketch that, and I'd like you to draw the net for both of these 2 that I'm having you do, and find the area of the pieces, put it together for surface area. Next time up, I'll show you the formula. Hey guys, one more thing I just realized. I went to do the answer key for this guy and realized that I didn't give you a perpendicular height for this triangle, so you couldn't do it with what I gave you. So 3.5 side, 4.5 side, 7 foot side. And we'll use that 7 as a base for the triangle, and then this perpendicular height of the triangle from the 7 would be 2 feet. So you need that 2 feet. So add that to your drawing. So when you do your net, you can use that to find your area of your triangle. See ya.